president is unpredictable. He'll come out with some cockamamie thing tomorrow that we don't even know about.
We know we just got a heck of a lot more tariffs.
The U.S. hiked steel and aluminum tariffs on more than 400 products after our Liberal politicians continued to attack Donald Trump in the media. Also, a Lindsay, Ontario man charged after assaulting a home intruder. You heard that right, and much more. Let's jump right into it.
In our story today, we quoted a Michigan State professor who is focused on supply chains and said, if you count everything that just got listed in inclusions for new tariffs, it's 6 times more than the total that we saw in the 2018 time period. So this is a massive expansion of what is actually covered. I think importantly for people to know, as you showed up on the screen there, these are derivatives, right? So these are derivatives of steel and aluminum.
Canada doesn't really have a choice here. If we want a trade deal, we have to follow Donald Trump's rules. He's setting the terms, and Mark Carney either bows down to them or we're going to get hammered with tariffs. Now to a Lindsay, Ontario man charged for assaulting a home intruder.
I have an emergency announcement for you. This morning I saw a crazy news story that a homeowner in the town of Lindsay, Ontario was asleep at night at 3 a.m. and someone broke into his house. There was an altercation. Police came and they charged the homeowner with assault and other serious crimes.
A man defends himself inside his home at 3 a.m. and is charged by the police. We have people willing to enforce laws that they don't agree with and they likely wouldn't follow. If this happened at a police officer's home, they would have investigated themselves and found no wrongdoing. This is one of the most ridiculous headlines in the news I have ever seen. Now to 5 Canadian soldiers suspended after that well-known 1930s salute.
So Murray, what do we know about this?
Well, to start off with, Adrian, we have not seen the video. It was apparently shot in 2023. What we've been told by D&D sources is that the video is less than 30 seconds and it looks like it was shot at a house party. A soldier holding the flag of the Royal 22nd Regiment is apparently consuming a drug of some kind. Right at the end, a couple of soldiers give the Nazi salute. An investigation is underway. Military police are involved and no charges have been laid yet.
With Canada's mass immigration and all the problems that brings to the country, this type of behavior is only going to continue to grow, so I don't find it at all shocking. Canadians are being replaced in their own country. This type of behavior is what frustrated people are going to turn to be heard. Speaking of being heard, Mark Carney's X account posting videos without any audio. Failure after failure with Mark Carney and the Liberals. These people are trying to run the country and they can't even properly post on social media. A great one from True Facts on X. President Trump replaces Mark Carney with a houseplant for a photo op. Nobody notices. A fun clip from X about an American couple leaving to come to Canada.
Goodbye, Donald Trump. We're moving to Canada for real.
Oh, you guys were actually serious about doing that. Well, welcome to Canada, where the average family spends more on taxes than on rent, food, and clothing combined, where the unemployment rate is 70% higher than America's, where 86% of all new jobs in the past 4 years have been government jobs, where 1,000 people will line up to apply for a job as a dollar store sales associate, where you can get fined $25,000 for walking into a forest during a climate lockdown, and where 52% of us think that the US is too dangerous to enter with a car. But hey, at least we've got poutine, opioid vending machines, and our leader doesn't have a connection to Epstein. Oh, wait.
Apparently this couple doesn't watch the news because they are in for a world of hurt. Likely a case of Trump derangement syndrome, and the cure might just be moving to Canada. Give them 6 months to a year, they'll be cured, they'll be back in the USA. Jumped into a tentative Air Canada deal that has been reached.
Air Canada flights are slowly resuming tonight after a tentative deal with the flight attendants union. The 3-day strike may be over, but the damage will last much longer. It could take 10 days before operations are back to regular service. CBC News has learned some specifics of the deal, including the key issue of ground pay, for which flight attendants will be partially compensated.
Good things happen when you defy Mark Carney and the Liberals. Great to hear that they'll be partially compensated for some of their time on the ground. Pierre Poilievre winning the Battle River Crowfoot by-election, but will soon be facing a mandatory leadership review in January.
Conservatives will fight to put Canada first, and we will work with anyone from any party. We continue to extend our hand to Mr. Carney and say that we want to work with any party.
Poilievre's next test is in January, when he faces a mandatory leadership review. Since he's been in the job, he's grown the Conservative base. No one has stepped forward to challenge him. Support appears solid.
But it's not a guarantee, because you may have many loyal Conservative voters who said, hang on, you promised us a majority government. You said you were going to bring it home. What happened?
Poilievre returns to Parliament in less than a month. He says he doesn't want to just oppose, but propose his own solutions. That will likely include a push for more resource and pipeline development, an end to Liberal climate policy, and a stronger stance on crime and immigration.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in January, but more interesting to see Pierre Poilievre question and debate Mark Carney. And we know that Carney is not looking forward to that. I don't think anyone would be. Mark Carney did make a post on his X account congratulating Pierre on his win, so that was nice to see. Now Poilievre on the BC Ferries controversy.
You're in British Columbia. BC Ferries is a big topic. Their contract with the Chinese government. In the light of tariffs from China on canola, what are you hoping to see the BC government, the federal government, and BC Ferries do on that contract?
Well, it seems incredible to me that the Liberals and NDP want to give $1 billion contract backed by a taxpayer-funded federal loan to a country that has slammed our farmers and fish harvesters with unfair tariffs. I want to retaliate against Beijing by canceling this loan and this contract. In addition to that, we should have an economy that's competitive enough to make our own ships, especially in this time where after COVID and the latest trade disputes, we've proven we know that we need to be more self-reliant than ever before. So Conservatives want to cancel this and source the construction here at home with our workers, our people, our steel, our country.
Now that is exactly the problem. Canada just can't compete. The Liberals have killed any type of growth or investment in this country, and it seems like that's exactly what they want. Even our own Prime Minister doesn't invest or pay taxes here. Now to Donald Trump and his war on wokeness.
President Trump is now ordering a review of the Smithsonian museums, accusing the institutions of focusing too much on, quote, how bad slavery was. He made that comment in a social media post yesterday. The president says he will subject the museums to the exact same process his administration has conducted at universities, which have faced federal funding cuts over DEI and anti-Semitism concerns. Trump's comments come 1 week after his administration told the museums they would be required to adjust any content the White House finds problematic.
Canada, of course, is all about the wokeness, and I think it's safe to say that that is one of the reasons Donald Trump is punishing Canada. Mark Carney and the Liberals stand for everything Trump hates and is trying to get rid of in America. I am all for ending this wokeness nonsense, and I hope that one day Canada will do the same. If you made it this far, please hit that like button. It really helps the video out, and if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 2,000 subscribers, so every one counts. That's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one.